welcome back. Today we will be making an adult size t-shirt using just the Cricut Joy. So let's get to it and jump straight in. Don't forget at the end to stick around for the bloopers. Okay, so this is my shirt which I got from Target in Australia. And it's a really nice soft material, this one. I think it's a combination of cotton and modal. I'm not really sure what modal is, but anyway. I have done iron-on with these types of shirts before and they turn out really beautiful. But like I said to you, today we're going to use the holographic. So look, I think it's going to be subtle, but I think it's going to be really pretty and I think it's going to look so gorgeous. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into it. But like I said, we're going to use the Cricut Joy. So you can do adult size shirts with the Cricut Joy and I'm going to show you today. And it just takes a little bit longer, but it's possible. There's so many things that are possible with a Cricut Joy. 90% of things are possible with a Cricut Joy. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so I did measure it out on my shirt previously, and I didn't want it any bigger than 19 centimeters wide and 19 centimeters high. But like you might have seen in my previous video, when I measure something out, if you put in the dimensions as 19 centimeters in the width and 19 centimeters in the height, it can distort it a little bit because as you can see with this design, it's not traditionally a square shape. Like it's not in a traditional square shape. So what I did with this design is I just came down to the bottom here in this area and all I did was I just moved it to get my width within, you know, it's within about 19 centimeters. So it's 19.53, that's fine. And it's made the height 16.15 centimeters. So I'm happy with that. So we're just going to work with that. Now, as you can see up in the corner here, it's got it down for my maker 3 to make. But what we want to do, because today we want to show everyone that you can do an adult size shirt with the Cricut Joy. And it shows, okay, there's a red warning. Not supported by Joy, you need to reduce the size of it. Okay, so we're not going to do that because I don't want to reduce the size of my design and nor should you have to. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you that it is still possible to do this on your Joy. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the design because I think this is going to be possible to be done in 2 parts. Okay, so what I've done there is I'm just detaching because so that we can make it, so that we can print this on the Joy, we've got to detach it first, okay? But I want 2 copies because what we're going to do is we're going to make 1 copy for just a girl and then the other copy will be who loves crafting. And hopefully by doing that, it will be able to print out on the Joy. So, okay, so what I'm going to start with is just a... Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start, we can start left to right and see how it goes. So J, U, S, S, T, A, and then a little bit in the middle. Come on. It's being a little bit difficult today. It's undoing things that I'm trying to contour out. Okay, let's see. Come on. Let's see what it's done when I do that. Okay, well, it's just going to be a bit difficult, so we can actually just delete that. We don't need it. It's being difficult. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is I want to contour out the A's. And that one. Why is it not letting me do the last one? My gosh. There is an update here. I'm wondering if because there's an update. Okay. This is not the most successful thing, is it? But it does show you that it can be temperamental. Okay, let's get rid of girl. So we're going to contour out girl and then all the little bits in the inside. And then lucky last, is that going to do it, or is that going to play the same game? It seems to be playing this funny game to me today. I think it knows that I'm filming. My gosh. Okay, so basically what you can see here is we've got the second part. Okay, that's perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we attach that. Let's do that now so we don't forget. Back over here, we have got the second part. Now, it's not currently attached. And what we're going to do in this part is we want to keep Just a Girl with the Hearts. We want to actually get rid of Who Loves. Let's see if we can actually just delete it rather than contour it out. Look at that. Let's just play the easy game today. Oh, gosh, don't want that. Sometimes, now, I have to tell you, sometimes you can't do this in some of the designs. You have to contour it out. But look at this. Today, things are not working today, but there you go. It is still, we're still going to get the design that we want. So we've got Just a Girl over here. Let's not forget to attach it, otherwise it will print it separately. When what I mean is it's going to choose how it's going to put it on the mat. We want to keep it together, so we've got the placement. And then we've got Who Loves Crafting over here. We've got it attached. We've got it together, so we know that the attachment's going to be fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to hit make. Now let's see what happens this time. It's letting us do it because we've split the design in two. So it's going to be on a mat. It's got the longer mat. Let's hit confirm and see what happens. Okay, so what it's done is it's got Who Loves Crafting on the first mat, and it doesn't matter which mat it goes on to be honest. It really doesn't, because obviously we're going to cut them both out and place the design on the shirt. What matters in this part is we have to remember that we're doing iron-on. So what do we have to do? We have to mirror the design. Why do we have to do that? Because what happens is when you're doing iron-on, if it's not mirrored and then you place the iron-on down on your shirt, the writing will be in reverse. So you must always remember, and Cricut's really good. It's got a little spot here to remind you to mirror your design. And when we go in further and pick the material, it will actually remind you if you've forgotten to mirror your design. So let's come down to mat 2 where it's got Just a Girl, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit mirror. We don't want to forget to do that. So let's come over to continue. It's going to connect to my Cricut Joy, which is already turned on. Once it's connected, we can then send the mat through. While it's doing that, I'm actually going to cut out the material for the mats. Now what I tend to do is I go in here and see how you can see on the screen. You can actually see we need it to go down to at least 20 centimeters and we need it to be at least 9 centimeters wide. So I use that as a guide for how much I need to cut off, so I'm not wasting my iron-on. So I'm going to do that. And then the second one, if we go into the second one, it's going to tell us, hopefully the same thing, it's going to tell us that we need, it hasn't actually gridded it, but anyway, let's just go in. Come on. Let's go mat 2. Okay, so we need at least 20 centimeters again, but this one is pretty much going to cover the entire width of the mat. So that's 11 centimeters, so that's fine. So I'm going to cut that out now, and then we'll go through the rest of the process. I want this to be the shortest part, so this will be the 11 centimeters. So I'm taking that to 11. And then I'm actually going to bring my trimmer down the end. So I've got a little space down the bottom here. Hope you can see there. I'm just going to make sure that it's right up against the guide up the top so that it cuts straight. There's my 11 centimeters. So I'm going to cut that there. Now I'm going to pop this aside for later. And then, what did I say? 20 centimeters. So then I'm going to take my longer edge to 20 centimeters there, bring down my cutter there so it doesn't scratch. and then cut it up. So, perfect. So I've got 2 perfect sizes for my Joy, 1 for each section. Okay, so this Cricut cutter is perfect. I use it all the time, every day. It's great for vinyl, HGV, cardstock, anything really that you need to cut. It's fabulous. Okay, so let's come back over to Design Space. Okay, so this is exciting. I've not used holographic before, so it's not going to be in my popular bookmarked materials. So I'm going to go to Browse All Materials, and then I'm going to scroll down to Iron-On. And what I'm going to do is look for holographic. So we've got holographic Iron-On, holographic Iron-On mosaic, holographic sparkle. So it's not sparkle or mosaic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the holographic Iron-On and see how that goes. Okay, so here's the wonderful reminder that Cricut give you. Make sure mirror is turned on and Iron-On material is face shiny side down. Okay, the pressure's default, all the rest is fine. Then you just got to load your material. So that's what we're up to. And now I'm going to hit go. So it's just preparing. I'm not going to show you the cutting. If you want to see the cutting, have a look back in my previous video. I can link that one below so you can see it. While it's cutting, personally I think it's time for an M&M break. And I'm having peanut M&Ms today. So pop in the comments, what are you munching on? Okay, then I'm going to hit unload. Okay, so it's the same material, and I don't think I bookmarked it. I should bookmark it, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into where I was before, scroll back down, holographic Iron-On, and to bookmark it, you just hit the little green bookmark. So now I don't have to do that next time I come to use this beautiful holographic Iron-On, which is the first time I'm using it today. Hopefully it works. All right, so load it back in. Okay, so that second one has now printed out. So what I'm going to do, turn your mat over and roll your mat off your material. And that's a really good habit to get into, especially if you're using cardstock, so that way that your cardstock doesn't bend when you roll it off. And always put the cover on your mat straight back on so that it doesn't get dusty and it keeps its stick for longer. Okay, so we're going to do that and pop that out of the way. And what we're going to do now is we're going to weed. So let's start with this one first. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to weed the designs. So flip it over. I always like to keep my design up on the screen just so I know what should be coming off in case for some reason anything pops up that shouldn't pop up. But so far this is weeding quite nicely actually, and usually Iron-On does weed really nicely compared to some vinyl, only because I think it's just the type of vinyl that it is. It just weeds a bit nicer. So I'm just going to get that off. And what I might even do, or what you can do, just to make it easier, is you can cut that little piece off just to get rid of it so it doesn't get in the way. Keep your scissors handy and just cut that away, because then that way you can keep weeding and it doesn't get in your way and you can see better. And it will just stress you out less, especially if you're new to Cricuts. Now you can see there are a couple of spots where the holographic has not come away completely. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm just going to do is we're going to go in there and just lift that up and just weed it out like we normally would. It's just stuck. That's all. but it's actually cut really nicely. I'm pretty impressed. I've not used, like I said, I've not used holographic before, and oh, that little bit's coming up. I haven't really used the styles or the stools, sorry, the stools, however you pronounce it, that brand very often. So I so far I tend to only use, or I've only used Cricut Iron-On at this stage, but I'm wanting to venture out a little bit more because other brands do have some lovely colors, and like you can see here, it's got like a really lovely holographic design, which I think is going to look, well, I hope it's going to look amazing. The only thing I'm noticing is it is leaving just a little bit of a, in some spots, just a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a residue, but it's like just a little bit of that shiny material where it has cut, but it's not come away completely. Now, you don't want that to stay there because what it will do is it will iron onto your design. So that's the only thing that I'm not liking about this particular holographic vinyl. But it may also be that it may also be a sign that I need to replace my needle on my Cricut. Not my needle, my cutting blade, sorry. Yeah, it may be a sign that I need to do that. But that's okay. It has definitely still worked. We just need to just make sure that we get off all the areas that we don't want on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep weeding this, and then once I've finished, I will come back and show you how it turns out before we pop it on the shirt. Okay, lovely. So I'm going to be 100% honest and say that I do not recommend this Stools holographic HTV. I've never had a HTV that's done this. So basically what it's done, it's torn one of the letters. It's come off in layers. I've never seen that before. I've been cricketing for 2 years now, and I've never seen that before. I don't think it is my blade because I made 3 shirts the other day perfectly with Cricut Iron-On. Didn't have a problem at all. It may be the holographic because it may be that shiny HTV has particular layers. But what I actually ended up having to even do is I had to use my crafting knife to try and cut around the letters to remove some of the layers that still haven't come away. And if you can see up close there with the just, you can still see, hang on, if I put you might still be able to see that there are, oh, sorry, it's not a clear cut, like there's just still residue in between the letters. So I'm not going to recommend something that I wouldn't, recommend to my best friend. So that's not what I'm going to do on the channel. I always will recommend things to you that work. You can also see, as well as tearing in the A, which I've never seen before, it's pulled on the L as well. But anyway, we're going to persist and we're going to put it onto the shirt and see how it looks, because it may look fabulous on, and if that's the case, that's fine, but I wanted to let you know how it weeded and that it didn't weed very well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going into my Cricut heat guide, which I'll show you in another video. I have got a Cricut Easy Press here. It's a 9x9, and the Cricut guide's just asking me, what is my heat transfer material? And I'm saying that it's a holographic iron-on. Select your base material. Now, because it is cotton, but it's also a bit of a blend. So I'm going to put cotton/poly blend, and I'm using a Cricut mat, which is what I've got here. So what it does, this Cricut heat guide is absolutely fabulous. It will, I'll just turn my heat press on, it's going to set the temperature to what it needs to be. So it is actually setting it to 165 degrees, which is 330 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to be pressing for 30 seconds with firm pressure, and then slowly remove the liner when cool to touch. But what I need to do first of all is I need to do a pre-press. Now this shirt I have washed because it's for myself and I'm not selling it. And I just prefer to wash my shirts before I put iron on so that the shirts don't shrink. So I'm just going to pop my shirt there like that. Just waiting for my heat press to get to the right temperature. Okay, so it's just reached temperature. So I'm just going to hold it on where the design will go. I'm just going to hold it on for 5 seconds. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our design. Now normally with HTV you can lay it down, you can pick it up, you can move it around. So it's not like normal vinyl where once it's laid down, it is down. So what I'm going to do is just, I tend to really just eyeball my designs. Sometimes if I'm not sure, I will get out my little measuring tape from my sewing equipment and measure it just to the sort of sleeve, just to see that I've got it approximately in the right spot. You can use those neck guides. I've never used one of those. I don't think they're really necessary. What I've done there is I've just cut, and I might cut a bit more actually, just because we've cut these separately. I just want to make sure that the cutting mat doesn't overlap with vinyl that I'm trying to put onto my shirt. So I'm just cutting those little bits away. And then I'm just going to quickly go back to my original design just to make sure I've got it sitting where I'd like it. So I am just going to have a look at that. And I actually think that looks really good actually. Despite all the drama, I might just move that over slightly. Despite all the drama, I actually think that's not bad. Okay, I am going to get my tape just to give it a rough measurement. And what I do really is I just take it from a particular point. So I'm going to take it from the L to the sleeve. That's about 12.5. Just going to move this over here. I am working in a small craft room, so I will, if you'd like, oh, look at that, 12.5, perfect. Okay, so if you would like to see a tour, I would love to do one for you, but you just got to sort of juggle things a little bit sometimes when you've got a small space, don't you? Okay, I think that looks great. And with all the drama that we've had, do you know what? I think I'm just going to go with it. So there's nothing overlapping here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, it should actually lay down fine. I don't think I need any heat resistant tape. Normally it would stick. It's not sticking. I don't think it's going to be an issue because it's not curling upwards, it's curling down. Okay, so it's reached temperature, and what we're going to do is pop it on. Okay, I'm going to hit start and use firm pressure, and it needs 30 seconds. Okay, so what I do to help it cool down is I take it off my mat because the mat retains the heat. I let it cool, and with this particular iron-on, it required a cool peel. Sometimes it's a warm peel, sometimes it's a cool peel, but this one's a cool. So I've let it cool, and I'm just going to peel it off. Ooh. And so far, it looks like it has laid down quite well. Wow, okay. Maybe all the drama we've had may have just been worthwhile. Oh, look, it didn't lay down too bad at all. I think it's laid down really well. I can see, though, I don't know if you can see, but I can see where the A is cut and where there was still that little bit of that material that I couldn't get out between the J and the U. But other than that, considering we had so many problems with it, I think it actually turned out quite well. And look, to be honest, it was just a problem with the material. It was a problem with the holographic material. But I think it's turned out to be quite a cute shirt. And I love that it's subtle. Like, it's not super bold, but it's just subtle. I think that's really lovely. I'm really impressed. All right, so if you've liked what we've done today, we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of adventures. If you're looking for more of this, and hopefully next time is less troublesome, then hit the subscribe and don't forget to give the video a like and comment below what you'd like to see next time, or if you have used holographic HTV, let me know whether you've had luck with it. Well, it was definitely an adventure, but we got there in the end. Don't forget, if you had fun, to subscribe to this video, give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment. But before you go, stick around for the bloopers at the end, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Like this, because obviously it is, oh, no, hang on. I was right. God, this is annoying. So like I said before, Cricut is really great. What they've done is, here's your warning, and it's, well, not your warning, your reminder. Make sure mirror is turned on and iron-on material is face shiny side down. Well done, Juliet. Yay. Can't believe I put it shiny side up. Anywho. Okay.